Now please be very attentive, because now we are going to begin with the ultrastructure of chloroplast. Look at this very beautiful model of chloroplast. How does it appear to you? Well, to me, if I want to say that this chloroplast is covered with some envelope, and inside there is a core which is going to contain many these structures, as you can see inside. So this model of chloroplast beautifully portrays that this chloroplast structure is made of the outer envelope, and inside this is a core which contains these structures. Okay, so now we are going to discuss these structures, that is the envelope, the matrix or the stroma, thylakoids, paranoid, stigma in greater detail, just to make you very clear about this ultrastructure of chloroplast, which is also very important from examination point of view. Okay, so let us begin with this ultrastructure of chloroplast. As you see here, this is the chloroplast structure. Here we will be talking about the envelope first. Okay, this envelope means the outer covering, and when we talk about the envelope of chloroplast, here you need to remember that there are two membranes. I told you that chloroplast is a plastid, and plastids are those organelles that have actually two membranes. Okay, so same way chloroplast is also having two membranes. One is the outer membrane and the other is the inner membrane. And this outer and inner membrane are approximately 75 to 100 angstrom thick. This outer and inner membrane are approximately 75 to 100 angstrom thick. Between this outer and inner membrane, there is some space which we call as intermembrane space, or you can call it as perichloroplastidial space, or you can also call it as interplastidial space. You can also call it as interplastidial space. So when you look here, you can actually have a clear view of what I am trying to say. This envelope has an outer membrane and inner membrane, and between these two membranes we have an intermembrane space, which we can also call as perichloroplastidial space or interplastidial space. Okay, we can also call this intermembrane space as perichloroplastidial space or interplastidial space, and this perichloroplastidial or interplastidial space can be around 100 to 120 angstrom thick. Okay, this can be around 100 to 120 angstrom thick, and you know that 1 angstrom is equal to 10 raised to power minus 10 meters. 1 angstrom is equal to 10 raised to power minus 10 meters. Okay, just remember this is for your general knowledge. I hope you already know that, but remember that when we talk about the envelope of chloroplast, it has two membranes. You can see in this image very clearly the outer membrane and the inner membrane, and between this outer and inner membrane we have an intermembrane space, which we can also call as perichloroplastidial space and an interplastidial space. The outer and inner membrane are approximately 75 to 100 angstrom thick, and the intermembrane or this perichloroplastidial or interplastidial space is around 100 to 120 angstrom thick. Now when we talk about this envelope, it is also very important to say that when we talk about this intermembrane space, it is connected to, it can communicate with an organelle, that is endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so this has a connection with ER. Your ER is what? Endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, this ER means endoplasmic reticulum. So this intermembrane space can communicate with endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, we'll discuss how is this functioning helping the chloroplast, how this process helps the chloroplast, this arrangement of this intermembrane space and how this happens. But remember that this intermembrane space communicate with this endoplasmic reticulum. Next, I have told you that there are most generally two membranes, outer and inner membrane, in case of the envelope of chloroplast. But in some cases, there can be 3 or 4 membranes also. So let us take a few examples in case of, if we talk about, there are 3 membranes. Now, if we talk about 3 membranes, then these 3 membranes are generally found in case of algae. And here also I can cite an example, euglenoids or dinoflagellates. Okay. So 3 membranes are found in case of algae, that is euglenoids or dinoflagellates. This is just to cite an example that it is not always there that this chloroplast has 2 membranes. It can have 3 membranes in case of some algae. Okay. And this envelope can also have 4 membranes in case of diatoms. Then in certain algae, that is yellow, green, brown and golden algae. Okay. So here you can actually remember that it is not always there that the chloroplast contains just 2 membranes. Some exceptions are there. Some algae contains 3 membranes and some also contain 4 membranes. Okay. Now, just explaining you this, I mean to say that depending upon their function, depending upon their structure, these chloroplasts has important functions also. Okay, so here if we talk about the outer membrane, this outer membrane is permeable membrane. Okay, so this outer membrane is a permeable membrane. Now, what is a permeable membrane? Permeable membrane is a membrane which allows solutes and solvents to go inside them. Means it is going to allow everything to go inside. Okay, it is permeable. It allows to go inside. So, outer membrane is permeable. So, the solvents or the solutes, they can enter easily, they can cross this barrier of this outer membrane because this outer membrane is what? It is a permeable membrane. Next, we talk about the inner membrane. Now, this inner membrane is a semi-permeable membrane. It is a semi-permeable membrane. When I say it is a semi-permeable membrane, it means it is only going to allow some selected materials to go inside this structure, this chloroplast. Okay. So, outer membrane is permeable, it is going to allow everything to pass through it. The inner membrane is semi-permeable, it will just allow only selected materials to pass through it. So, that is why there are some carrier proteins. Okay. In case of inner membrane, there are some carrier proteins. These carrier proteins are going to carry those selected materials inside this organelle, that is this chloroplast. Okay. So, since outer membrane is permeable, it is going to allow everything come inside. This inner membrane is semi-permeable, it is going to allow only selected materials to come. And this semi-permeable membrane has many what? It has many carrier proteins. So, these carrier proteins are going to facilitate the entry of those materials inside this membrane. Okay. So, this inner membrane has some what? Carrier proteins which are going to facilitate the entry of these particles which are going to enter this inner membrane. And now this inner membrane develops some folds. Okay. And these folds form the thylakoids, which we will be discussing later. Okay. And this inner membrane, when develops some folds like this forms thylakoids. And in mature chloroplasts, these thylakoids get separated. But they have originated from what? They are the folds of the inner membrane. These thylakoid structures which you see over here, they are what? They are the folds from the inner membrane, and in mature chloroplasts what is going to happen? They are going to get separated.